the interesting thing, again, this builds upon that architectural foundation. And so how do you get started? So if if you're working at a company and you've got a mix of old and new, but you're on an application, probably business critical, one or more teams, and it's older technologies, it could be considered legacy. It's a monolith you're deploying to virtual machines, lots of older things, and you want to modernize. How can you do that? So one of the key strategy here is, again, it's thinking about your current state and the future state. So the first point here that we have is where get together with your team and ideally cross-functional. So you have some if you're in a organization that is cross-functional teams, or you have dev and ops represented, but get everybody together and build a shared vision of where you want to go. And that's not just the application, like the application teams, that's good. You can align with the rest of your team or multiple teams, but it's also the infrastructure. Where do you want to go? What's the type of system and what's the future state that you want to build? What is that shared vision? And so once you've established that, it's kind of that's the direction of where everybody's going to be moving. And
Mm.
again, it's not going to happen overnight. It's one of these things where you can't stop everything and then rewrite everything and move toward, like, go straight to the shared vision. It can happen incrementally. And so the second point there is start in the middle. And so when you think about the architecture diagram that we were just looking at, if you don't have that, and you might have a CI build, but how can you get started? One is get started with a simple CI and deployment. And that's typically an area where the audience is all the same, where it's, again, if you have a if you're a cross-functional team, you're all in the same team. But often starting with CI and a basic deployment is something that the dev team can control. So you're improving your life. You've got CI, you can run automated tests, and a basic deployment. You're getting started and you're moving on the path to that DevOps architecture. But once you have that foundation, it's working well. You can see you've got your automated build. You can see green. You can see the path to production. That's a wonderful foundation. But then it's time to expand left and right to mature your solution. So what that can mean when you expand left, it's more of those elements that Jeffrey was talking about, the private CI build, and then the other elements that we just saw to produce that release artifact. And so you're improving and maturing to the left, but then you can also move to the right, where, again, it's the additional environments, ensuring you have them. And if you don't, those are a great candidate to take advantage of technologies to provision your infrastructure. Could be Terraform, it could be Bicep, it could be CloudFormation, it could be a range of technologies. But it's a way to start establishing those other environments, like a dev environment, then like a test or UAT staging environment. And then production, we always have production, but if you have gaps in that environment progression, that's the other side that you can fill. So you're building that shared vision. You're getting started. You're starting in the middle. You're starting simple, but then you're building upon that foundation. And so by the time you've kind of hit point 3, you have a broader foundation of that DevOps architecture. And so then once you have that, thinking about the app modernization, how can you do that? And again, it's prioritized changes. It's cloud smart. Again, it's picking those areas that are a priority, where if we need to iterate and innovate in a certain area, we need to move fast. That's the priority, to move to the cloud. And again, iterate. You can't tackle everything at once, but prioritize and just start doing it, and then learn and iterate.